A good evening to you and many thanks for joining us on the evening news on ABS. My name is Ifunanya Amafli and our story is trending for this evening. Members of National Pension Commission visit the state to look at pension laws. State government directs contractors handling road projects to go back to site. Boat mishap claims 3 lives in Lagos State. And on the foreign scene, many people killed as gunman attacks a bar in California, USA. And we'll go straight to the news. Members of the National Pension Commission have arrived the state to take another look at the state's pension laws with a view of making recommendations where necessary. The team from Abuja, led by the acting head state's operation, Mr. Dan Ndaxon, met with the Deputy Governor, Dr. Nkem Okeke, who was appointed chairman of the Committee on Outstanding Labor and Workers' Matters by Governor Willie Obiano. And our Government House correspondent, Ejike Abana, filed the report and is taken from our studio.
The meeting was also attended by the Secretary to the State Government, Barrister Solochukwu Lobelo, Head of Service, Barrister Harry Udo, Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Ujunwogo, and the State Accountant General, among others. Mr. Ndaxon said the essence of their visit was to hold talks with the state government to make sure that possible challenges are eliminated, pointing out that they are coming into Anambra with homegrown skill, while noting that all states of the Federation are constitutionally empowered to draw the laws that best suits them. Mr. Ndaxon highlighted the advantages of the contributory pension scheme to the state at the short run and workers on the long term. Mr. Ndaxon, who emphasized that globally pension reform is contributory, said that it is the only guarantee to sustainable pension management in the country, assuring that in spite of different misgivings and ignorant disposition, a single kobo has not gone lost since the inception of the scheme.
We've gone around a lot, and we have established that there's a lot of knowledge gap about this scheme. There's so much of misgivings. Most of the misgivings are based on ignorance. And what I tell people is, for the 14 years of the existence of the contributory pension scheme in Nigeria, not a single kobo has gotten lost on that scheme.
Deputy Governor Okeke, while welcoming the team, stressed the importance of the scheme to every worker and said that concern over safety of the fund had always been a challenge. The Deputy Governor noted that Governor Obiano has made efforts to pay the state government's part, assuring that Anambra State will soon align.
The Governor has really made efforts in terms of paying the state's contribution to this effort. I'm hoping by no time, maybe when we have a technical discussion with the Accountant General and Billion and how we've done, and maybe other questions that might come up. Once again, I thank you all for coming, and I hope that we'll have a good interactive session. And you notice that time the state will really be up to par with this project.
The team thereafter went into a closed-door meeting with the Deputy Governor.
The state government has directed all contractors handling road projects in the state to go back to their different sites as the rain has subsided. The Commissioner for Works, Engineer Marcel Ifejiofo, gave this directive at the end of a meeting with contractors, consultants, engineers, representatives, and the management staff of the Ministry of Work in his office in Oka. Engineer Ifejiofo noted that work slowed down on road construction because of the rainy season. According to him, now that the rains are over, massive construction of roads will recommence effectively. The commissioner emphasized that because of heavy rains and flooding that occurred this year, the contractors will have so much work to do. He, however, urged them to put in the best to guarantee business dealings with the state, stressing that shoddy works would not be tolerated. The commissioner told the consultants and the engineers representing state government interests to be alive to their responsibilities to avoid lapses. He added that henceforth, every design must follow an assessment template from the State Road Design Committee. One of the contractors and the traditional ruler of Umueri, Igwe Ben Emeka, reassured that the contractors will work hard according to specifications and expectations of the government and the people of the state. The Anambra State Commissioner for Diaspora Affairs, Indigenous Artworks, Culture and Tourism, Mrs. Sally Mbanefo, has received an award on creativity, packaging and performance. The award, which she received at the end of the 31st edition of the National Festival of Arts and Crafts in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, was in recognition of the outstanding performance of Anambra Cultural Troupe. The festival, organized by the National Council for Arts and Culture, was aimed at promoting peace, national integration, and unity, as well as showcase and hunt for young talents in skill acquisition and creativity. The commissioner, who was represented by the permanent secretary in the ministry, Mr. Tony Ezenwaka, said the award and recognition confirms the position of Anambra State as a performing and culture-loving state with a culture-loving governor. According to the commissioner, the state lived up to its bill in terms of cultural displays, especially as it concerns the cultural troupe, which made very spectacular displays that thrilled the audience and earned the state a certificate and a trophy. Mrs. Mbanefo added that the magnificent performance of the state compelled the organizers to invite the troupe to a banquet night, which was exclusive for the state. She commended Governor Willie Obiano for promoting culture, arts and craft in the state to a level of becoming a source of revenue generation, noting that a lot was being done to package the state into becoming first-choice destination for tourists. Mrs. Mbanefo urged the troupe to ensure better performance in next year's festival, and not just in the area of cultural displays, but also in arts, craft, and essay writing, amongst others. And today is International Day of Radiology. It's an annual event introduced in 2012 as a joint initiative with the aim of promoting the role of medical imaging in modern health care. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Okonkwo, observed that the event, which is celebrated on November 8th every year, coincides with the anniversary of the discovering of X-rays, and we'll bring you his report now.
The 2018 International Day of Radiology would be observed by more than 128 medical societies in 68 countries around the globe. As Nigerians join the world in commemorating the day, the Association of Radiologists in Nigeria, ARIN, would today organize symposium, practical demonstration on cardiac imaging, and health talks for patients in health facilities throughout the country. The series of activities are aimed at creating greater awareness of the value that radiology research, diagnosis, and treatment contribute to safe patient care and better understanding of the vital role radiologists perform in healthcare delivery. Speaking on the celebration, a consultant radiologist and the head of radiology department of the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu Teaching Hospital, Amakuoka, Dr. Samuel Udobi, described radiology as the future and the main part of medicine because of its critical and inevitable role in medicinal sector as regards detection of diseases for proper treatment. He stated that through radiology, images like X-rays, ultrasound, among others, are made available through which the normality or the abnormality health status of patients are discovered, which he explained helps the health practitioners to know how best to administer treatment. Dr. Udobi said that early diagnosis prevents complications and helps in reducing the mobility and mortality of infectious diseases. The consultant radiologist frowned at the manner of some people who wait till their illnesses get to critical stage before consulting medical professionals for diagnosis and treatment, stressing that prevention is better than cure.
How to go and see a radiologist. The radiologist will now look at the age because I'm that breast now. Someone that's less than 40 years, don't do it for a person. Generally, don't do it for a person. Okay? And so what they have to do about because of the way the breast develops and how it responds to radiation. Those are things that have been studied. So I encourage our people to seek proper medical advice, consultation, and then let them not be afraid to approach radiology department and radiologists for proper investigation.
On his part, another consultant radiologist at the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu Teaching Hospital, Amakoka, Dr. Emeka Emedike, who re-emphasized on the necessity of radiology in the health sector, called on government at all levels to provide more standard equipment in radiology department of public hospitals in the country.
The government has a large role to play, in terms of financing this sector of medicine, because there are so many machines that we need to be using here. Okay, for instance, we need an MRI machine. That one has a very good soft tissue contrast. It's higher than a CT, though it's very expensive. In cases that a CT machine cannot really pick the pathology, okay, now you have to move further. Now do an MRI scan, which will now pick it up. Like, for instance, in cases of early stroke, CT will not really pick it.
This year's International Day of Radiology has its theme as Cardiac Imaging, Important Role of Radiologists in Cardiac Care, recognizing the role of imaging in the detection, diagnosis, management, and treatment of a wide variety of heart diseases. In Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
An octogenarian Chief Ima Nwagbara from Mbosi in Ihiala local government area has once again demonstrated that the state government's huge investment in the agricultural sector is yielding dividends. The octogenarian, who has emerged state overall best farmer for 3 consecutive times, said with diligence and will, Nigerians can export farm produce. And we'll join our correspondent, Ebele Eze, for the rest of this report.
A visit to Chief Nwabara's farm in his compound revealed that with good agronomic practices and proper care for crops, bountiful harvest is assured. Aside the huge tubers of yam and cassava harvested from his farm, Chief Nwabara is also into ginger and potato production. Sharing his success stories with the ABS, Chief Nwabara, who is a retired public servant and in fact specialist in agriculture, said he holds workshops on yam and cassava productions, processing and preservation. On the secret behind his huge harvests, Chief Nwabara disclosed that he carries out proper soil treatment, followed by good seedlings, adding that he does not engage in mixed cropping.
What I do myself is, first of all, I see that where I grow yam, no other crop is grown there. I give my crops enough spacing. For yam, I give yams from 6 feet to 9 feet apart, and cassava from 5 feet to 6 feet apart. It is the normal seed yams we buy in the market, but I buy bigger sizes because I naturally or at present I produce what I call price yams or price cassava. That's the one that will give us very huge tubers. So,
for some of you that still doubt if ginger can grow in Anambra State, here is a ginger farm, one of the success stories of Chief Ima Nwabara, DG Mbosi. From the famous farm of Ima Nwabara in Mbosi, Ihiala local government area, I am Ebele Eze, reporting for ABS News.
No fewer than 3 persons have been confirmed dead and 5 missing by Lagos state government after a passenger boat capsized on the lagoon. According to reports, the 20-seater passenger boat, including 2 boat operators, capsized when it collided with another wooden boat. Immediately after the mishap, eyewitnesses disclosed that 12 passengers were rescued by the Emergency Management Agencies and Lagos State Waterways Authority, LASWA. It was gathered that the accident would have been prevented if the boat operator had adhered to LASWA's cautions against night operations in the state. Confirming the mishap, General Manager of the Lagos State Waterways Authority, LASWA, Mr. Damilola Emmanuel, disclosed that the boat en route Ojo from Coconut Jetty, a suburb in Lagos, capsized mid-sea. He hinted that investigations conducted revealed that the boat was a passenger boat called God Bless and a wooden water supply service boat. According to him, 3 persons were confirmed dead and their bodies have been deposited in the morgue, while 12 persons were rescued alive and 5 persons are missing. He stressed that efforts of the rescue operators aided rescue of 12 passengers, assuring that recovery efforts will continue until those missing have been found. The LASWA boss, however, expressed concern that boat operators were in the habit of flouting the orders by the agency to desist from operating at night due to the dangers inherent. Emmanuel also urged passengers to always ensure that they wear life jackets before embarking on any trip on the waterways and ensure they are worn properly to prevent loss of lives. He said the state government, in conjunction with the Marine Police, will conduct a thorough investigation into the incident, adding that the operator of the boat would also be held accountable. And our business news, the Auditor General of the Federation, Mr. Anthony Impe Ayimi, has revealed that ecological funds meant to fight disasters have been looted. According to Ayeme, about 28.286 billion naira was deducted from the fund in 2016 for activities not related to development of natural resources. A report from the Office of the AGF also disclosed that about over 74 billion naira was credited to the fund in 2016. The report said the first tranche was over 26 billion naira, being 2% deduction from the Federation account for ecological matters. The second remittance of over 46 billion naira was received into the ecological fund as the required 3.0% deduction from the Federation account for the development of natural resources. But the AGF said the 28.286 billion naira was paid out as a loan to execute unrelated activities. Also, the AGF indicted the nation's embassies in Germany, Ireland, the Netherlands, and Britain. He said the embassy in Germany cannot account for 298.8 million naira. These discoveries were contained in the AGF's 2016 audit report, which has been presented to the National Assembly for consideration. And on the entertainment scene, the producers of a new Nollywood movie in the making entitled Caged in the Creek by Leke Akinruwo and Elvina Ibru have expressed their desires to use the movie to correct certain negative notions often held about Nigeria outside the country. The movie will be directed by multiple award-winning Irish actor and director Terry McMahon, well known for his roles in the production of chart-busting movies such as Batman Begins and Charlie Casanova, amongst others. McMahon is expected to bring his wealth of experience to bear on the production of the much-anticipated African action thriller. The movie director is in a meeting with journalists recently held in Lagos, said he was excited to be given the part to play in the movie, which is expected to help Nollywood to rewrite Nigeria's story. For Akinrowo, who has spent a significant period living and working in the Niger Delta, the movie will not only capture his personal experience, it would also afford him the opportunity to correct some misconceptions about the region. And on the foreign scene, multiple people are believed to have been injured in a shooting at a bar packed with college students in Southern California, local authorities say. At least 11 people were shot when a suspect opened fire in a crowded bar in Thousand Oaks, about 50 kilometers west of Los Angeles. Ventura's County Sheriff Sergeant Eric Bushko confirmed that the gunman is dead inside the bar. Earlier, the Sheriff's Office Captain Garo Korejan said at a news conference that the Sheriff's deputy was also among the injured and has been taken to a hospital. Earlier, police told journalists that at least 30 shots were fired at the Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks. According to sources, the bar was packed with college students before the gunman forced his way in. The extent of the victim's injuries has not yet been released. Law enforcement and emergency crew were seen flooding the area. An unnamed source told reporters that a victim managed to escape through the window of the bar. Authorities urged the public to avoid the area. And on our sports scene, Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr has hinted he could give a first cap to teenage forward Samuel Chukwueze, who plays for Villarreal in Spain's La Liga against Bafana Bafana in this month's crucial Africa's Cup of Nations qualifier. The former junior international has earned a first call-up and could play some role when Super Eagles meet Bafana, bent on revenge at FBN Stadium on Saturday, November 17th. The 19-year-old scored against Almeria on what was his domestic debut for Villarreal last week, before starting again in the 1-1 draw with Levante at the weekend. He had previously featured for Yellow Submarine, Villarreal's nickname in the UEFA Europa League, and also for the club's reserve this season. He won the Bronze Boot as the third best player at the 2015 FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Chile after scoring 3 goals as Nigeria lifted the title. Chippa United goalkeeper Daniel Akpeyi could play for Nigeria against Bafana after first-choice stopper Francis Uzoho was forced to pull out of the squad with injury. Uzoho has been replaced by Eyimba's gloveman Theophilus Afeilokai, who joins club mates Ikechukwu Ezenwa and Akpeyi as the options for Raw. Now, don't forget that you can follow our news and programs on ABS from any part of the world simply by logging on to our website, which is www.absradiotv.com, or you like us on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television, or follow us on our Twitter and Instagram handle at ABS Radio TV. And before we end the news, we'll go through the recap of our headlines for this evening. Members of National Pension Commission have visited the state to look at pension laws. The state government has directed contractors handling road projects to go back to sites. Both mishap has claimed 3 lives in Lagos State. And on the foreign scene, many people have been killed as gunmen attacked a bar in California, USA. And with that, we'll come to a wrap on the evening news. Many thanks for being with us. My name is Ifunanya Amafili. Do have a pleasant night.